All right, everybody. Welcome to my first video. I'm going to be doing a video about the San Francisco. We're going to be doing a mock draft, but before that, we're going to be talking about San Francisco and their team needs. So, as we saw a couple weeks ago, the season came to more or less an unsatisfactory end. Just a brutal ass whooping by the Seattle Seahawks. And it kind of solidified a lot of doubts in a lot of fans' heads. Brock Purdy, he kind of had some absolute heaters, but we had some bad cards dealt this season with injuries. I mean, it seems like it's like that every season. Hopefully, the substation gets addressed. However, now we have the offseason to look forward to, a draft. It's been noted that the 49ers will be aggressive in free agency. I hope that's true. Very quickly before we do this mock draft, I'm going to be using my handy-dandy slideshow. And first, we're just going to look at the 49ers team needs. So, obviously, wide receiver remains at the top. Going into the season, we had Brandon Ayuk. We had him signed. We thought he was in for another productive year. Last year, he had that injury, that very bad injury that kept him out. Everybody thought he was going to be back midway through this season. And then reports started coming out. And by the end of it, he had essentially given up on the team. There was a video of him speeding past Levi Stadium for whatever reason. He posted cryptic messages, and I think respectfully every 49er fan wants him off the team. A great receiver. He was in the doghouse his first year. He had more of a productive second year, and then his third and fourth years were amazing. He was damn near a 1,400-yard receiver. I could have easily seen him with the departure of Debo and the injuries to Kittle throughout the season. He easily could have been a 1,500-yard receiver. The guy has the whole package. He's a great route runner. His size is great. He had yak ability. We all saw that hurdle. It was his rookie or second year against the Eagles. Just an absolutely filthy player, but unfortunately his personal life got to him, and he's not going to be on the team anymore. Maybe his NFL career is done, which is super unfortunate. He was a bright spot for this team. And now we're kind of headed by, the receiving core is headed by Ricky Pearsall, who, I'm going to be honest, guys, I really like him as a receiver. I think he's a phenomenal route runner, and I think he has some yak ability. I think his catch point is pretty good. He's made some phenomenal catches. And he developed rapport with Purdy very early. Like, within the first 3-4 weeks of the season, they had that chemistry that was alluded to in the offseason. In the offseason, the beat writers were going off. They said that Pearsall and Purdy were connecting on basically every play. The first 4 weeks, he was third in receiving yards, just behind JSN and Puka. But the guy, unfortunately, just can't stay healthy. So it's hard to see him as a wide receiver one in this offense. He's just been riddled by injuries. The guy got the pass his first year. He was shot and kind of dealt with a nagging injury after that. But this PCL, I think a lot of fans are actually kind of done with him. I'm not ready to give up on him. I more or less, though, see him as a wide receiver 2 this year, compared to a solidified wide receiver 1. And of course at wide receiver, and then of course our other wide receiver this year was Juwan Jennings. This is a 7th round guy who's been awesome. This guy, a lot of 49ers fans, myself included, love him. Just a big bodied receiver, strong catch point, strong hands, and just an unnatural yak ability. Just he breaks tackles, bounces off them, and unlike Pearsall, this guy damn near gets injured every play. And you see him go off to the sideline, grab his ribs, grab his helmet. He looks like he's in pain most of the game, but he'll come back the very next play and snag a catch. I mean, he's earned his moniker, third and Juan. However, unfortunately, I don't foresee this guy on the team. It's been stated that he's gonna probably command like $15 million in free agency, and I don't think that's money the 49ers are willing to spend on him, um, based on the nature of our wide receiving core currently. Behind him, we have Demarcus Robinson, who's, he's okay. He's had a great game against Philly. He's kind of been an afterthought through much of his NFL career. He was pretty good with Mahomes in Kansas City. He had a decent year this year. I mean, he was a reliable target. However, it's just, I mean, he's just I would say a low end wide receiver 2, like mid tier wide receiver 3 at this point in his career. He has some good routes. Like, he can actually beat man fairly regularly, which is good. However, he just doesn't have the complete package required to be the one on our offense, obviously. And he will be here next year. He's on a 2-year deal, and I'm not opposed to that. I think he can be a solid wide receiver 3. And yeah, that is our wide receiver position. O-line this year, it's another position of need in the draft. I mean, Trent is 1 year older. He said that he wants to play, it seems to me, maybe like even 2 more years. So we'll have him until then. But I mean, the injuries are getting to the guy. He's getting older. I had an excellent grade this year, and we're going to look at PFF here. Go to offensive linemen. Trent Williams and Colton McKivitz were phenomenal this year. I know a lot of fans have hated on McKivitz, myself included, especially in the pass rush game. But I think he's earned himself just a consistent starting role. I mean, any team would want this guy. A 90 run block grade from him is absolutely phenomenal. And I think the positions of concern, though, as we see, are when we get to the guards and centers. Jake Brendel, I mean, being ranked 8th out of 37 centers, I think that's just a false stat. Kyle Shanahan seems to love him for some reason. Might have a picture of Shanny with Epstein or something. I don't even know, but seems like he's not going to get released or traded anytime soon. Matt Hennessy actually came in a couple of games, played well. Ben Barch, just kind of whatever. He played okay. Connor Colby, our late round guy. I mean, pretty bad grade that you can't foresee getting any better. Dominic Puny, I mean, this guy regressed a little bit, for sure. He started the season off, honestly, like very badly, and then kind of came back and had a stronger end to the season. He's obviously a better run blocker, as are most of the 49ers. And Spencer Birdford, pretty bad this year. If they were going to pay him too, they already would have. So I think he's going to be off the team. We're going to quickly go back to this. That's our O-line. I think guards and a center, specifically guards though, will be of utmost importance. D-line, I mean, we're going to go back to PFF here. A lot of fans love Alfred Collins and CJ West, but I do want to show them something. We just go down to CJ West and Alfred Collins, and there were flashes, but these grades are absolutely awful, even for a rookie. And this is against run defense. They were meant to beef it up. And I think they have shown enough, despite this horrific rating, to be positional pieces. I don't think this is a core we will move forward. I feel like they want to acquire a defensive lineman through free agency. Now, on the other hand, there's just a lot of like nobodies on this roster that don't make too much of an impact. I mean, Kevin Givens, just whatever. Jordan Elliott, whatever. Just take away the PFF ratings and whatever. These guys don't make that much of an impact. Yetur Gross-Matos, I don't know if he'll be on the team next year. Kalia Davis, shouldn't be on the team. Sam O, this is a guy that I think he was a rare bright spot on this team. This guy is a tough player. He got to the quarterback a couple times, and he routinely makes plays. And again, we're just going to go down this line. Like Cleveland Farrell, he had a couple week stretch where he was good. I think maybe him and Keon White can stay. But the whole state of this defensive line is precarious. Like Bryce Huff was okay. He was supposed to be in those NASCAR packages with Nick Bosa. Obviously, Nick Bosa is returning from his injury. Michael Williams, obviously season-ending injury, but lots to be desired. However, he was double-teamed a lot of the season, so I'll give him grace on that. I'm excited to see what he can do next year. Hopefully be pretty productive, because this is a team that certainly needs it. Secondary, I don't want to harp on this too much. As opposed to a lot of 49ers fans, I think Diamador Lenore is a very good corner. I think he can be our cornerback one for, honestly, a couple years to come. Renardo Green, this was another person who regressed, had a great rookie season. This year was caught lacking a ton of times in pass coverage. I still think he's good. Good. But with the emergence of Upton Stout, I mean, Stout's going to play nickel due to his size, but cornerback could be a need for this team, especially at the 2 position, and especially when Luter gets reps at corner, we need someone else besides him. I mean, this guy sold the 49ers Super Bowl, and like Luter, when he comes in on these pass coverage plays, honestly just offers nothing that they can't get from the draft or anywhere else. So that is another position. And then safety, I think Malik Mustafa is a fine player. He's okay. He's good. I think free safety is more of a concern. I mean, Jair Brown should be off the team. It was a 3-man rotation with him, Jason Pinnock, and Marquise Siegel. Marquise Siegel showed flashes. I could see him being the starter next year if they don't make a move. But that's another position of need. And then tight end, take this with a grain of salt with an asterisk. I don't think they'll do anything this offseason with tight end through either the draft or signing somebody. A lot of fans like the possibility of getting Kyle Pitts. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. He broke out this year. Great player. But it was also noted that George Kittle and his Achilles injury, he's earlier than expected in his recovery. And so I think that mitigates a lot of doubt. A lot of fans are talking about Kenyon Sadiq as a possibility. I like him. I wouldn't draft him with pick 27. I could be wrong. I haven't watched much of him. I know that it was specifically a run blocker his first year or so, and then emerged this year in the passing game. So he's definitely a fine player. I just, again, this is an asterisk. I think George Kittle will be there at the start of the season, and if not, we can kind of rely on Jake Tonjes. I think he'll be back. Really quickly, just wanted to look at some of the free agents. Yetur Gross-Matos, I don't think he'll be on the team this year. Jawan Jennings, again, I love him. I just don't think we will pay him. Spencer Burford will probably get scooped up in free agency. Sky Moore, that is someone I hope we do keep. As a returner, he was quite valuable. Didn't offer too much in the passing game. He was on a lot of those kind of end-arounds, though, facilitating like the start of the play, which is kind of cool to see. Kendrick Bourne, I mean, I don't know, maybe he could stick around for the vibes. Brian Robinson, I could definitely see him not getting another shot on this team. However, I really liked him. Like, I do hope he comes back. Eric Kendricks, I don't know, kind of torn on him. I think he could come back, but I think it's more likely than not that he will leave the roster, leave the team. Okay, so enough of that talk. And before I start, actually, I want to go in to this mock draft with the assumption that the 49ers are going to trade for a receiver. I'm gonna show this clip quickly. I think. Well, I won't show it all. Anyways, all Grant Cullen says, and take it with a grain of salt. A lot of fans don't like him, but essentially said that the 49ers want to trade for Jordan Addison and that they're big spenders. They're going to be big spenders in this offseason. I think that I could definitely see that happening. I mean, Addison's going to be on the last year of his contract, has been arrested again. But this is a guy that, man, if he's not in the shadow of Jefferson, I think he could be a monster. Like a monster wide receiver for this team. Another name that's been floated is Max Crosby. I don't necessarily think there's any merit to that. I think he'll honestly end up staying as a Raider. All right, so we are here on PFF on their draft simulator. We're going to do, obviously, 7 rounds. We're going to kind of slow the pace a little bit. And we're going to make randomness net 0, so 0%. Draft for needs is going to be more valuable than positional value, but we're not going to necessarily do like a 25-75% split. I think we'll do something like that. I think this will provide the most accurate draft that we can get. And yeah, let's get into it. I think they need... Hold on. Oh, I've got to pick my team. All right, so the 49ers have picks 27, 58, 92, 127, 133, and 138. So this round 4 stretch will be huge. I think this is where they will, if they don't go wide receiver early, they'll take one there. If not, I think they will attack like edge, skill positions like corner here. So we are on the board at 27. I think a lot of fans like Caleb Lomu. I like him here too. I could 100% see him being the pick. So let's see how the board fell first. Casey Concepcion. Okay, so kind of the standard. Yeah, a lot of fans love Caleb Lomu. Didn't allow a sack this year. Only 2 hits, like 6 hurries. Played great. The pass block grade is all the way up there. That's something that you'd like. I'm going to go a little bit of a different route here, though. I like Caleb Lomu. He's probably who they're going to take. I like Mesidor, too. Also not who I'm going to take. I do love him, though. This is a guy that just gets after the quarterback. I mean, 13 sacks, like 50 hurries, unbelievable season. Just a demon pairing with Ruben Bain. In the championship game, he had a great game. Like, you can use him different places, too. You can kind of see him mostly on the outside, but there is some variance there. And if you look at some of the grades against the competition, like USF had a great game. Florida, who is sending 3 or 4 linemen to the draft who will be drafted, great game. Obviously Indiana, Ohio State, great player by all means. I don't think they're going to take him. I'm going to go with, I think, their biggest position of need. Again, I think Burford is leaving. I think Puny regressed a little bit. I might get some slack from this. I think Pregnon's elite. I think I would take Ione if he's on the board. I think Pregnon is just as good, though. I mean, if you look at some of the grades, this is phenomenal. This is a 93 zone grade, up there with the very top of his class. Run block grade, pass block grade. Those are beautiful numbers to have. Let up 1 sack in his last 3 years. 2 hits, 2 hurries. Played every game this season. And I'm going to go with Pregnon there at that position. Although I could 100% see them taking Lomu in April. Mesidor would kind of be an outside dream for me. I would not hate that at all. I think Mesidor is a high upside project. And so we get to our second pick, which is pick 58, second round. A lot of fans would go D'Angelo Ponce here, and I really want to. I love this guy. Only problem 5'9", 173. Plays so much bigger than that though, and is a great corner. I mean, had a great game in the national championship. His best game of the season via PFF. 11 forced incompletions, 0 TDs. Has been like elite for the last 3 years as well. I just, as much as I like him, I think the 49ers need to go wide receiver here. Again, even with the expectation that they pick up Jordan Addison, I think they still need a third wide receiver. And I think this guy right here is awesome. I'm going to need 2.39 yards per route run. It's beautiful. Didn't have a great game against Miami. But if you look at his 3-year production, has played basically every game, has had production in each of his last 3 years, 15 touchdowns, a lot of red zone production there. Doesn't play the slot very much, plays wide, which is what the 49ers need. I mean, I think moving Pearsall inside with maybe or Addison and Surratt on the outside, I think that can be a great combo. So we're going to go Elijah Surratt there at pick 58. And I don't think any fan would be mad at that. I like Concepcion. I like Denzel Boston. I just wouldn't draft them at pick number 27. Maybe Concepcion. I'm 50-50 on him. I'm kind of torn. Good player. I just wish his size was a little bit bigger. I think he's 5'11". Surratt is 6'2". So that's kind of the prototypical wide receiver that we would want on the team. Mikhail Kamara kind of jumps out to me here. Genesis Smith, another guy who's very solid. I think he had a dip in production though this year, Kamara. As you see, his second year was not second year. Last year, Jesus Christ, 2024, 2025 was a lot better than this year. He still produced, but I think there's a guy they would go for later. Jacoby Lane's kind of like the wild card wide receiver of this year. This guy, the team's going to take a shot on him, 6'4", 200. With taking Surratt, that just simply doesn't make sense. Genesis Smith, this guy is that 88 coverage grade. That missed tackle rate is not something you want, especially with Malik Mustafa, who's a great player. He actually missed quite a few tackles this year. Great player. As much as I think they need a safety, and in fact I think it's one of their biggest needs, I don't know if Smith is the pick there. I'm going to go with a pick that might garner some hate, but this is like one of my darlings of the draft. It is Max. And don't ask me how to say his last name. I, full transparency, do not know how to say it. The grades to the right look average. But this is a guy with 3.5 years of football experience, is a college basketball convert from a junior college, East LA college. Shout out Last Chance U basketball if anybody watches that. If you take a look at this guy's tape, his kick step is nasty. He gets to his spot so fast. As you can see, his best year of college football by far. His best grade, 0 sacks, 3 hits, 11 hurries. Maybe more hurries than you would like. But the true pass block grade, 71, is great, especially looking at some of the teams that he was playing. Like he was one-on-one with David Bailey. There was a rep where he caught David Bailey really good as well, just lifted him off the center of gravity. And like this is quality competition to go up against for a recently converted player. As much as I like Mikhail Kamara and Genesis Smith, I think that Max would be a great addition to the team. And them attacking offensive line early means they don't have to do it later like they usually do, leading to kind of a bad pick like Connor Colby. who I mean was okay. Nothing special, nothing to write home about. So now we are on pick 127. So this is that stretch where we have 3 picks in 10, within 10 picks of one another. Damon Claiborne is actually a running back I really like. However, I really hope that Kyle doesn't take the running back in round 3 or 4 or 5 like he always does. I mean, give Jordan James more snaps. Isaac Garindo, I mean, what the hell did he even draft him for? That guy was like a combine marvel. He was so athletic and showed promise, and now he's just nowhere to be found. So I don't think they'll go running back. Jalen Kilgore is a name I've heard floating around. I actually don't like him very much. I in all honesty, I need to watch a little bit more of him, but he's actually, I don't know. I think they can go better. Like the zone coverage grade is something you want to see trending a little bit higher than that, especially since that's something we struggled in. The 49ers did this year. Trey Moore is a guy I think he's okay. The linebacker class this year at the top of the draft is really good. Jacob Rodriguez would be like a dream for the team. Jawari Taylor's another running back that he's like 5'8", 5'9", 204. He's a beast. Harold Perkins too. I think my pick here is edge Malachi Lawrence. And I think this guy, for being a projected 3rd to 4th round pick, I think as the draft process goes on, as all the camps happen, as the combine happens, I think this guy can shoot to maybe the top of the 2nd round or the back of the 2nd round. I think he is, in all honesty, a complete pass rusher who has high upside. I mean, you look at this, 7 sacks, like 30 hurries is great. Doesn't bat the ball down. I mean, we have Alfred Collins for that. But he had production every year, played every game. He kind of looks intimidating. He wears this double knee brace, not because of injuries. I think it's more of a stylistic choice. But if you look at some of the stats here too, not the best run defender, but that'll come. We look at his measurables, 6'4", 250, and like a 91% grade for true pass rush is awesome. Pass rush win rate 19. Like these 3 for pass rush, that is really what we need, and those are at the very top of the class. And by all means, his run defense grade isn't bad. That is like right at the median. It is average. Run stop rate is the only note of concern there. And this is a guy that is right now at 148th. So, in my opinion, he is the consensus number 1 pick here at this position. Davidson is another guy that kind of intrigues me. We could probably find him later in the draft. This is a little bit of a reach, but at the same time, we are in the 4th round, and we have like 3 picks back to back. I think you can take a shot, especially on such a high upside player. I already kind of mentioned Jaden Kilgore. Massis is an intriguing prospect in that he was really up and down this season. I mean, you look at 4 Ts, 5 interceptions, the pass rating, it's really good. But getting targeted 63 times, he only let up 30 receptions, but that is a little bit concerning. He is like a good size on him by all means. Top 3 in projection to go to the 49ers. But I don't think that is the pick there. We've already addressed interior offensive line and tackle, wide receiver, edge. So this is kind of a place where we can take a shot at upside, because we've looked at kind of need. And I guess we took a shot upside with Lawrence, but that is a position of need, and that again, that is a player that I could see being a riser 100%. And I think the pick here is Bishop Fitzgerald. This guy's an excellent coverage corner. I mean, 90% coverage grade. That's at the very top of his class. Um, you look at like where he lines up. You can kind of, I mean, you can put him where you want, and you could expect production. Over his 3 years of college, he's only improved every year. Missed a couple games this year, but this is a player, I mean, produced against Michigan, great game there. Purdue, kind of got an insane game in the first game of the season. Um, Again, I think being coverage safety is something the 49ers need. They do have a run-stopping safety in Malik Mustafa, even though he kind of struggled this year. And this is such a precarious position that I think they can really shoot for upside here. And I think he's one of the better players on the board here. Tacario Davis is also intriguing. He definitely had a bit of a down year, though. So we're going to go with Bishop Fitzgerald there. And the third of three picks, very close to another. I am tempted to go Pat Coogan. I just don't really see the 49ers drafting a center, and I want to be accurate. I could see them maybe taking a shot at corner here, Davidson or Jaden Roberts, who's like an excellent pass blocker, but kind of a mediocre run blocker. And he's not bad. He's a run blocking. But that pass block rate is elite. Jaden Ott. This guy's like, oh man, don't have enough good things to say about him when he was at Cal. But I think at this point of the draft, this is their second to last pick. We have addressed the positional needs. However, there's not necessarily a wide receiver I like. I'm lying. I like Ted Hurst. 2.42 yards per route run. Obviously, the knock on him is that he's at Georgia State and going up against lesser competition. But he has a couple of good games here against Memphis and bad game against Ole Miss. I think ultimately, you look at Davidson, and he played he played all games this season. He didn't let up a TD. Great passer rating. I think they could afford to take a chance at corner here. Not the most glorious pick. Like, I think a lot of fans would like Pat Coogan here, maybe even Harold Perkins. I just think the linebacker core is, despite it being a positional need more or less going into next season, I think they can line up Fred and D. Winters and then have Tatum Bethune there. Maybe re-sign Eric Kendricks. I think we're going to take a shot at the Ohio State corner here. And I think that's the pick there. And I think this next pick is where you kind of shoot for the stars. Because unlike the last couple of drafts, we have a lot of picks early on in the draft. A lot of middle round guys, which is, I think, where I prefer, honestly. So our last pick isn't in the 6th or even the 7th, but in the 5th. So we can still find fairly good value here. I'm just looking at the board here. I mean, but no, I don't think they'd go corner again. I think this is where you go down the board. Kevin Coleman. I don't think this is the pick, but I am intrigued by him. I mean, his frame is like 5'11", 180. I think he lines up more in... I could be wrong. I think he lines up outside. Or no, he lines up in the slot, sorry. I just think... Okay, there's a guy that I'm going to go down to that I think is getting overlooked, and it's another secondary piece. It's a corner. If he's still on the board, and maybe he's not. Maybe he is not. It's Traydon Stukes, and he is on the board. Ranked 277. I don't think PFF will agree with us drafting him here, especially since we got a corner. But if you look at this guy's tape, him and Genesis Smith were a great secondary combo, corner and safety. And the 90% coverage rating is at the very top of his class. This is for a guy that's being projected to pretty much be undrafted, or a bottom of the 6th, top of the 7th pick. I mean, didn't allow a TD this year, 4 interceptions, a 36% pass rating. Against some good competition too here. Like you see he played Iowa State. You see he played like Baylor, ASU, not the best game against them. This is quality competition, and he lines up in the slot. I think he could 100% make the 53-man roster as our late 5th round pick. And I think he could be like a starting corner. Like, get rid of Darrell Luter, plug this guy in, and see how it goes. And then, obviously, we picked Davison as well. Like, both of these guys can make the roster. And I think that would be very solid. We didn't attack the defensive line here in this draft. I think they could get a defensive lineman in free agency. They could also take a shot with this last pick. I think it's less of a concern. I mean, it is still a concern. We saw Alfred Collins and the CJ West PFF ratings. However, I just think, and maybe I'm thinking too much, I think Traydon Stukes is like my sleeper of the entire draft, and I think he should shoot up. The big knock on him is he's a senior. He's like 24, I think turning 25, but great size. And for me, this is going to be the last pick. I don't think PFF will like that in the draft rating. We'll also speed this up. And that essentially concludes the draft. We'll see what they give us here. And they are not a big fan of this draft at all. I like it though, guys. I'm going to be honest. I think offensive line has been one of our biggest concerns in the last couple of years. Ever since the Super Bowl loss. I mean, even before then. Like this century, it's been a big problem. They do like Surratt. So I like Pregnon and Surratt, the very first two. Max is an upside pick. These two are upside picks in the middle of the draft. And I got to say, I love both of them. I really like Malachi Lawrence, though. Bishop Fitzgerald, excellent coverage safety and above average run defender. Davidson, I think just the best player on the board at that spot. And then Traydon Stukes, a shoot for the stars player, but at the same time, I don't think so. I think this guy is a guy that will shoot up draft boards. I think Traydon Stukes and Malachi Lawrence will shoot up draft boards as the draft looms closer. And who knows? Maybe we can't get Malachi in the 4th round. Maybe Traydon Stukes his actual ADP will be in the 5th round as opposed to like a 7th round player or a late 6th. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this draft. I'm surprised they gave Max a D. If you guys want some tape on him, you really should look into Max. He's just gets to his spot so quickly. But anyways, yeah, that is going to conclude the video. I do appreciate everybody for watching. And I'm going to keep making videos. This is my first one. I'm going to make videos as the draft gets closer. I'm going to talk about free agency, if the 49ers make moves, if they make moves and they actually fit. And yeah, draft coverage. We'll probably make some draft analysis videos. So yeah, I appreciate you watching, and thank you very much. I hope to see you guys soon.